poop, poop. Here we are on the M6 through Birmingham.
We are going to Spitting Feathers Brewery campsite.
And when we're at the brewery campsite, will we be partaking in some of their beer?
I should hope so.
That sounds good.
We'll do cycling as well.
And gin.
It's always busy on this stretch of the motorway, but it eases off once you get through Birmingham and come off onto the M54. We followed the signs for the North and Mid Wales. Then we looked out for Junction 3 to turn off onto the A41 towards Whitchurch and turned right at the roundabout. The A41 is a nice road for motorhoming. It's good and wide with mostly long sweeping corners. It could do with resurfacing like a lot of British roads, so make sure you strap all your bits and bobs down well. We had a bottle of water fly out of a cupboard and it broke the Pickle's favourite plate.
So, Relish, where are we now?
We are somewhere in Cheshire.
Who's that? Pickle, hi! What are you doing?
You just follow the A41 straight across a lot of roundabouts until it's signposted left for Chester. When you see the signs for Waverton, you're getting very close to Common Farm, and here is where the sat-nav took us down what probably wasn't the best route. It was a little bit on the narrow side.
Are you excited about your pizza?
We realised afterwards that we could have kept going on the A41 for a couple more minutes and got to the campsite by avoiding this narrow lane.
2-lane road. White line. A bit of a white line.
Turn right, then the destination is on your right.
Concentrate now, Pickle.
Ah, here we go. Spitting Feathers Common Farm. Wow. This is a slightly narrow entrance. Not too bad now.
You okay?
Yeah. Tall gate posts, but with my immense skills as a driver, it's no problem.
Sarcasm?
Oh, it looks really nice. Arriving today, Malish, Zoe and Keelan. Please take a leaflet from By the Bins.
How wide is the gate to get into the
It's
pit?
a double width gate.
Oh, right. Calm down, Pickle.
I wonder if that will be okay. It's just off the lead if I open the gate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's nice. He's got 3 lovely dogs just ambling about.
That's good. You've got plenty of room to get in.
Might have to move first. Alright. Should I get out and have a look?
Yeah, and then reversing. Is there anybody else here?
Lots of people there.
After we set up on pitch, the sun came out and the lawnmower came out too. The grounds were very well kept. First impressions of the site were very good, and it was lovely that Kiva could run around off the lead with the other dogs there. She soon made friends with Porter, one of the farm dogs who has free range of the site. Mathew, the manager who lives on site next to the camping field, came to say hello and gave us all the essential info we needed to get settled in.
Hello, Porter. You're a good boy, aren't you?
I had a wander around the field, which actually was an orchard where they grow some of the apples used to make the cider in the brewery on the farm. We sampled the cider later and it was really nice. I'm not an expert, but I thought it tasted a bit like scrumpy, but more refined and sweeter. It had been a very exciting day for the Pickle, who enjoyed a snooze in Melv. We were almost totally level, which was great. I took this opportunity to visit the horses, who were so friendly. They must be used to the campers coming and going.
A beautiful horse. Hello. It's so lovely. Like ear scratches.
Mathew gave us a tour of Spitting Feathers Brewery, which is on Common Farm.
Going to buy some beer. So this is Mathew, the proprietor of Spitting Feathers Brewery and campsite, which is wonderful.
Right, so I'll go through the beers, starting with the weakest. We've got Thirst Quencher, which is a pale hoppy 3.9%. Bitter, basically. And Brainstorm is an easy drinking 4% pale beer. Very like a lager. It's not, lager is a technical term for brewers. It's not technically a lager, so I don't call it a lager. Many people would mix it up with it. Rush Hour is a 4.5% tropical pale ale. Tropical only in the sense of the hops that we use. In the corner is cider we made from apples in the orchard where you stay in.
Well,
that's 5%.
That sounds lovely.
Competitive Strain Injury is a 5.6% IPA. And Little Donker is a 6% brown beer in the Belgian Dunkel style.
Oh,
brown beer, not very bitter, not very hoppy, more sweetness, more body to it.
That's the one for Dad.
So the £2.50 a bottle regardless of how many you take.
Okay,
So if you get a box together, you can mix them up or you can take whatever you think.
Perhaps we should get one of each and a couple of the Dunkel.
And what's the best thing about being the owner of a campsite?
I like having people around. I like keeping the place tidy and having people about. Why not? Look, Alison and I moved here in 2004, got married in 2008. We didn't want any wedding presents. Anybody who insists can go to mailordertrees.co.uk and buy one fruit tree. I've got a map and a legend in the house. We know who gave every tree and what every variety is and so on. The only two that aren't fruit trees is that oak there, planted in 2010, the one that's by your van. That was planted in 2010 to celebrate the birth of our daughter Lola. And then further down there you'll see another tree with a little green plaque on in 2011 to celebrate the birth of our son Arlo. Because oaks and chestnuts are the two native species that live the longest. You get 500 years out of an English oak and 450 out of a chestnut.
Wow.
So they'll be young trees when I'm gone and when the kids are gone. There you go. Change over day to day on a Friday, so most of your neighbours have gone, but by this evening it'll be full again. There's water and electric on every pitch. Recycling facilities over there by the information folder.
There's only a short drive to the local park and ride.
Yep, there's a park and ride to get into Chester, or you can walk down the canal, hop down Common Lane and cut through the park to the towpath, and then off you go into town.
Yeah, and there's local pubs within walking distance.
Yeah, loads of pubs. You've got your little information leaflet with a map in there showing all the local boozers. You can go to Christleton or just down the road here to Roughton Poplars. Plenty of pubs, lots of options around here. We're well blessed in Cheshire for good pubs.
Of course, it's not all about the pubs. There's plenty to do in Chester and the surrounding area. Mathew's information leaflet outlined the local walks and attractions. It was very well put together.
We're on our way to the Poplars Hotel for lunch, and you get 50% off if you're staying at Spitting Feathers campsite. And you show them this loyalty card that Mathew supplies us with, which must be returned to the shed. Because they've got Shetland ponies in that field there. But there's no pavement this side, so we'll have to cross over. It's not really a busy road, but there's a pavement anyway. You okay? Mm-hmm. There's a step up onto the pavement. Okay.
So we tried to follow Mathew's recommendation and go to the Poplars. We walked down Common Lane, crossed into Moor Lane, down the very busy A41, arrived at the Poplars, but it was closed, unfortunately, for kitchen maintenance.
Oh no, that's a bit of a fail. It says closed today until 5 PM due to kitchen maintenance.
A bit further down the road, we were able to get onto the canal path and go to the Cheshire Cat instead, which was a lovely pub.
So, we didn't have much luck at the Poplars, so we came here instead.
You have to take pictures of the food when it comes out.
Oh yes, share on the socials.
Yes, share it on your social apps.
Not disappointed. really nice food.
We discovered we could walk most of the way back to the campsite along the canal path, which was so much nicer than walking along the busy A41. To get to the poplars meant we had to walk along the A41 for a bit anyway, as it's right on the main road, so the Cheshire Cat turned out to be a better option for us anyway.
What are you doing, Pickle? That burger and chips was exactly what I wanted. That was so fabulous.
Yeah, my steak was very yummy.
And did they burn it to a crisp?
Yep, just how I like it.
Oh, you're lucky you had a chef that's prepared to do that.
Yeah. Oh, we're going behind the poplars now. We can see the wigwam.
The Shropshire Union Canal was built in stages starting in the 1770s with the Cheshire section for the purpose of transporting clay for pottery manufacturing and other goods between the Mersey River and the River Severn in Shropshire.
A goose.
This canal is a long waterway branching off into Wales as well, so lots to explore. When we got back to the campsite, the sun came out and there was time for the Pickle to pester her new friend Porter again. Porter is a bit of an elderly chap, and although he liked Kiva, he eventually needed to put her in her place. So we settled in for another peaceful night on Common Farm. The next day we met up with Zoe's dad for a whistle-stop tour of Chester. We didn't have time to see all the sights, but we saw some on the car journey in, like Chester Castle, whose stone walls date from the 12th century, the racecourse, which is in the Guinness World Records book for being the oldest still operational racecourse in the world, having been there since 1512. Even the bus station is very funky with its grass roof. We passed St John the Baptist's 11th century church and the remains of the Roman amphitheatre, and under Newgate Footbridge, which looks old but it was built in 1937 to create a shortcut through the city walls, which were originally constructed by the Romans too.
We're going up some steps.
Okay. Yeah, here they are.
The reason why we're doing this is because this is called the road, and we're above the street level, and there's a line of shops on our left.
Yes.
The reason why this row exists is because in previous generations, when people used to throw their rubbish onto the road outside, including the toilet rubbish, they used to construct these walkways to the higher level.
So you didn't have to walk through the detritus.
Exactly. And it's unique in the world that these roads exist in Chester.
It's a good idea.
So let's try that.
Yeah, shops on the left, and then it's kind of open to the street on the right with like archways and kind of like balconies. They're quite high up actually off the street now.
Yes.
Some of it's like a little arcade. Going down a little bit.
You come out to the steps at the end of the road, okay?
Wow, so unique.
Chester city centre is spectacular, with the unique walkways or rows built into the sides of the tall half-timbered buildings, some of which date back to the Tudor times and had their black and white facades restored by the Victorians, who added more buildings in the Tudor revivalist style, making the city's provenance a mixture of old and more modern. Chester Cathedral started life as a chapel in Saxon times. It was destroyed and rebuilt over time, and the current red sandstone building was dedicated as a cathedral in 1541. The wrought iron clock was added to the east gate of the city walls in 1899 to celebrate the 80th birthday of Queen Victoria.
What are you doing?
Chester is well worth a visit, and we can highly recommend staying at Spitting Feathers Common Farm campsite. We will definitely be going back there.
What are you doing, Pickle?
During our stay, we attempted to make motorhome-made pizza in our van, Melvin. The only trouble was we accidentally consumed far too much gin, but that is a story for another video, which you can look out for if you're not easily offended.
Oh no, let's start again. Bonjour. Melvin back.
Bloody lovely.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Poop.